In the state of Florida, parents have a fundamental role in the education, healthcare, and well-being of their children. We will not move from that. I don't care what corporate media outlets say. I don't care what Hollywood says. I don't care what big corporations say. Here I stand.
Governor Ron DeSantis has made his stance on discussions about sexual orientation and gender identity in schools loud and clear. The governor first signing the controversial Don't Say Gay bill last year that initially applied to kindergarten through 3rd grade. Now his administration is proposing a rule that would forbid those conversations through 12th grade.
It would be a double down on book censorship. It would be a double down on intimidation for teachers, and it would be a double down on sweeping censorship in K through 12 public classrooms, and would do enormous harm.
This has been their plan all along. We knew it wasn't going to stop at 3rd grade. That was a lie from the beginning. To all of you who have been naive enough to think that, oh, it's just going to stop at 3rd grade. Do we have your attention now? Do gay and trans people have your attention? Let me give you the details. The proposal, which would not require legislative approval, is scheduled for a vote next month before the State Board of Education and has been put forward by the State Education Department. Both of them are led by appointees of the governor. The rule change would ban lessons on sexual orientation and gender identity from grades 4 to 12, banning discussion. And I'm supposed to believe that these are the same people that are supposed to be all about free speech? Don't be fooled. Laws like the Don't Say Gay law are pushing the discussion of the existence of gay and trans people out of public visibility because the biggest threat to right-wingers is gay people being happy. That your child turns out to be gay or trans because they learn that gay and trans people exist and that it's okay for them to be gay and trans. That's what this fear is all about. Right-wingers fear whatever they don't understand, and they are doing whatever they can to eliminate, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't talk about gay and trans people existing, because they're afraid that their child will learn that, oh yeah, I kind of identify with this, I kind of vibe with this. Gay and trans people just want their deserved part of the American dream, and you're making our existence into a threat for children. No, our existence is just that, existence. It's a fact. LGBTQ people will not just go away if you ban the discussions of our existence. That's like trying to ban the sun. Like, that's not gonna happen. It's not possible. So we're here, we're queer, get over it. And just a flashback to the original Don't Say Gay bill that was only focusing on kindergarten through 3rd grade. You remember what they said? Oh, this is only for preventing teaching children up to 3rd grade about subjects that they can't handle at such a young age. It's about not sexualizing children and being taught that they can be whatever they want to be. That's just a sensitive topic for children. So what you're saying is my existence as a gay person is a sensitive topic for children. Do you want to put the shoe on the other foot and say that for straight people? No, because you know that straight people are the default. You know that whenever you have the idea of discussing sexual orientation and gender identity, that means that it has to be discussing that gay people exist. You do realize that this is actually technically stabbing yourself in the foot, but do you really think this is going to be enforced for straight people if they mention their husband or wife? If they are in a heteronormative relationship or marriage? You really think that straight people are going to be censored if they have a picture of their wife or their husband on their desk? You really think that's gonna happen? No, because you sexualize and you make this into a whole identity crisis when it's a gay teacher. But this, if you really follow this letter to the law, if you follow it down to the nitty gritty, banning sexual orientation and gender identity, it should also ban straight people doing that as well. So, but do you really think it's gonna be enforced? Do you think it's gonna be enforced for straight people? No, because straight people are the default. Almost 90% of the population is straight and has straight culture, straight feelings, straight everything here. So what this does is it paints the target on the back of LGBTQ people, makes us seem like immoral, wrong, all of these things. And this is an intentionally veiled attempt to undermine and bring back things like don't ask, don't tell. It's a veiled attempt to convince good-hearted people that our existence of being LGBTQ is a threat to children. And yet people are in disbelief because many people on the right constantly call us groomers and pedophiles anyway. Do you not realize how much straight propaganda goes into schools? Reading books about fairy tales of princesses being rescued by some beautiful prince? Or the straight people traditions of homecoming king and queen? Or the traditions of men holding the door for women and paying for dinner, women wearing cute little skirts and tank tops and being all feminine and cute while their boyfriend Brad plays on the lacrosse team. Yeah, all of that is gender and sexuality. That's all straight propaganda. And look, gay people, we're not trying to ban your traditions. We're not trying to tell you are invalid or don't belong. All of a sudden, we want to coexist and you get pressed. Why is equality so one-sided? It's as if you actually are homophobic and transphobic and you can't stand sharing this beautiful country with people who are different from you. And the hypocrisy of it all is right-wingers constantly talk about the sexualization of kids, then turn around and ask their 10-year-old if he has a girlfriend yet. DeSantis and other Republicans have repeatedly said that the measure is reasonable and that parents, not teachers, should be broadening subjects of sexual orientation and gender identity with their children. What if the parents aren't there? What if the parents are not supportive? What if the parents will kick you out for being gay or trans? What if the parents are homophobic or transphobic like mine used to be? I was afraid of being kicked out. For all the people that are like, oh, it's all about parents and parents' rights, parents' choice. What if the parents are super homophobic? That's why LGBTQ people are so afraid to even come out, is because what if their parents disagree? They'll be kicked out, they'll be ostracized, they'll be sent to therapy. And gay and trans people, we knew this was your plan all along. So don't pretend like, oh no. Also Republicans, gay Republicans, have you woken up yet? Have you woken up yet? They are not your friends. Republicans are not your friends. Also, Republican voters, if you don't like this, call your own lawmakers out. Call them out. They're trying to ban discussion. Isn't that against free speech? I would argue it is. It's obvious. And this is some Nazi-like behavior right here. Yeah, I said it. The Nazis started small, banning books by Jewish authors, forcing Jews to wear stars on their attire. And then they eventually moved up, saying that Jewish people went against German ideals, that they're sinful and inferior and must be eradicated. What's the next step? You already know what it is. This is what they're doing to gay and trans people, banning books by gay and trans people, forcing detransitioning for any trans person, even of any age. There have been bills proposed in state legislatures to eradicate trans people from existing. Have you waken up yet to the fact that this is a genocide amongst trans people, gay people? They're painting us as threats and targets. Do you not see it? Don't be fooled. They want you to be lulled into a mindless sleep of belief that this is somehow about protecting children when they want to eradicate gay people. You should be outraged by this. And while we're on the idea of threats to children, you constantly paint Drag Queen Story Hour and books about gay penguins as the biggest threat to children. Yet when you had another mass shooting just yesterday in Nashville, Tennessee at a Christian elementary school, leaving 3 children dead. Yet you think that gay and trans people are the super dangerous people. You think that they are a bigger threat than active shooters. And yet you have Republican lawmakers distracting you with these endless culture war garbage battles when we could be uniting and actually discussing real economic issues that impact Americans, like how pharmaceutical prices are still super high and we are being price gouged by drug companies, or the fact that our infrastructure needs to be funded and that it's falling apart. We had another mass shooting just yesterday. What you're saying is you would rather spend your time trying to own the libs than actually getting any economic concessions to make sure that we can move forward as a country. What you're saying is you spend more time hating on others than caring about the entire country and our community. And I want to give you some groundbreaking statistics from the Trevor Project about LGBTQ people and mental health. And to all of you out there who are supposedly pro-life and all about protecting the children, if you are not outraged and disgusted by these statistics, you're a hypocrite. A hypocrite. Key findings: 45% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year. I don't know, maybe it has to do with the demonization of our entire community. The fact that you constantly call us pedophiles and groomers and that we're a threat to your children. Yeah, I think those things would definitely affect my mental health, and they have. LGBTQ youth who felt high social support from their family reported attempting suicide at less than half of the rate as those who felt low or moderate social support. It's almost as if your approval, your family approval, your parents' approval actually has a lot to do with the health of whether your LGBTQ or trans kid feels at home and feels safe. So when you say, let's leave it all up to the parents, what if the parents aren't accepting? Fewer than 1 in 3 transgender and non-binary youth found their home to be gender affirming. Leave it all up to the parents? Yeah, that's basically a death wish for trans and non-binary people. Because again, what if the parents aren't accepting? School is a safe haven for kids who feel that their gender identity and their biological sex don't match. That's why when you say leave it all up to the parents, you're basically asking for trans kids to unalive themselves. And here it is when talking about gender. So you have cisgender and also transgender. You see that it's higher for trans people, but also high for cisgender people as well. But you also see that the carryout rate attempted is significantly higher for trans people. That should terrify you. Do we have your attention yet? Physical harm. Do you care about protecting the children? 36% of LGBTQ youth reported that they have been physically threatened or harmed due to their sexual orientation and gender identity. 31% of LGBTQ youth said that they have been physically threatened or harmed due to their sexual orientation and gender identity. And 37% of transgender and non-binary youth reported that they have been physically threatened and harmed due to their gender identity. I am so outraged that I can't even read anymore. I keep showing you statistics, and I'm really trying to get it into your head if you are a dissenter, that there is a link between bills like the Don't Say Gay bill and the demonization of our community to devastating statistics like this. So for all of you who care about protecting the children and actual mental health and being pro-life, this should terrify you. And this is your chance. Wake up. And this is super important right here. This is probably one of the most important. LGBTQ youth who identified home or school as a LGBTQ affirming space. You see home is at 37%. School, 55%. You know why that's super notable? Because if you leave it all up to the parents, you do realize that that is a decrease in the number of LGBTQ individuals feeling safe, feeling accepted, feeling loved for who they are, which they can't change no matter how much you send them to conversion therapy. And this has increased significantly for anyone who is trans and non-binary. Because if you look at the home acceptance rate, that's 32%, school acceptance rate, 51%. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing but veiled hate that is embedded in laws like this. And we cannot allow for good-hearted people to be naively fooled into thinking that this is actually some sort of good-hearted attempt at protecting kids. No, this is a veiled attempt to spread hate and fear of LGBTQ people. Get it through your thick heads and wake up now. My name is Scott Johnson. Thank you for joining me on The GAYZE. You can find more of me on TYT's The Breakdown. That's where I also post some long-form content in coordination with the Young Turks. You can also find me on TikTok if you haven't explored that. I have 62,000 followers, so you should definitely go and check that out. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's here. I really appreciate you. I believe in spreading love and kindness, not hate. So I'm here to hold truth to power, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.